We're back with episode 8 of the Undoing Podcast.
All right. Welcome back, everybody.
Whoa.
It's Janelle, and I'm here with David.
Hey.
And Alex.
Hey.
And Brendan.
Yo.
And Brian on the keys. It's 2018.
Yeah.
And we're all back.
I'm glad I don't have to
back.
write the date on top of my homework papers anymore because it always took me a month to
Write an 8? You don't know how to write 8s?
to get the year right.
I
It
think
took
this
me a
has
long
been
time.
been the first year that I haven't had a problem. Like I've remembered
Me too.
every time.
Haven't had a problem? What?
I mean, I've with
So
writing
we're
the,
only-
with
Remembering
changing
the
date. Oh, I was
yeah,
gonna
with
say.
remembering the date that it's not
Got lots of
2017. Basically, because I feel like 2017 went by so fast that I didn't really write it that much.
I just really like writing 8s.
I have only written
I
about.
like writing 8.
Mine look like snowmen.
That was one of the weirder things you've ever said.
Two circles.
I've actually
What?
only written 2018 twice this year. One on a check and one on a sexual consent form.
What?
Conversation consent form for one of the kids' schools. No, you know how they
Okay,
do
that
like
was-
this
Did you know
or
about
sex
this,
ed?
Brendan?
I did not.
You know when they do the
you
sex
guys
ed, you have to like.
You guys have some weird things that you like to do. I don't.
I did not consent.
It was not for Brendan.
Oh, wow.
Wait, who was it for then?
It was one of the kids' schools. It was
No,
one of the. It was
that's-
like the sex
yeah.
ed conversations. You know.
Totally missed that one.
Yes.
It's gone.
I guess I needed to actually look through and see what they actually talk about in second grade nowadays. What they
Aw.
teach them.
What do they teach in second grade? I don't
I don't know.
remember.
I can't remember. I know it's pretty basic.
Yeah.
Probably
Anatomy.
like they need to be taught to keep their hands to themselves
No
because
touching.
oh man, that kid. He's not like sexual, but he like hits people all the time.
Wait, who?
Your child.
My kid?
Number 2.
Oh. Yeah, he has a little more anger issues.
He just doesn't
Maybe.
have a lot of self-control. Which
He-
I guess
he's 8.
maybe he belongs in Hollywood.
Oh,
Wow.
Just kidding.
no! No went there.
I'm kidding. He's still young enough to teach. Anyways. Yeah, so what's everybody been doing? What did everybody do for the holidays?
Move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, David and Alex just bought a new house
And a
What
dog.
was it?
Very nice house.
It's as old as I am.
and got a
Is it?
new
I've
dog,
got a dog.
Yeah. You
They
guys
named
have,
it
like, a
after-
whole new life.
Brendan.
Oh.
His nickname.
I, for some reason, call Brendan Max, and I've called him that for 13, 14 years now for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And they named their dog Max.
You should be honored,
We have to
Brandy.
explain it every time someone asks.
And I
Why?
don't know why.
Because it makes no sense.
I know.
There's no reason behind it.
It's like a band name that you just don't need to explain.
Just Matt.
Yeah.
We had some old friends who the husband called his wife Louise. Her name was Karen. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
He called her Louise.
It's like how I call your sister Lucille.
Lucille. That's kind of close to Lisa.
Yeah.
Starts with an L.
Yeah.
I've always been good about making up random nicknames for people that make no sense. It's fun.
But you're on the receiving end of that one.
Yeah, I know.
I think it
Makes me
came
feel
from, I
loved.
think Brendan's came from my sister had an ex-boyfriend a long time ago, like when Brendan and I first got married or when we first got together. And he called him Brendonius.
Mhm.
And so then I started calling him Brendonius Maximus. And I said it was his gladiator name, I think. So, and then I just shortened it to Max.
Perfect. It's very fitting.
Brendonius Maximus.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I like it.
But
I actually thought
either
about
way, it
changing
is
my
weird.
name to that one time.
To Max
I
or
was actually
Brandonius Maximus?
No, Brandonius Maximus. Yeah, no to Max. I don't know why.
Like before?
Because no one
Janelle,
says
or
my
after?
name right. I pretty much answer to anything that starts with a
Brandon?
B.
Are you Brandon?
Yeah,
My grandpa still calls him Brandon.
yeah.
Mm,
It's unfortunate, but I don't really care anymore.
Yeah. Anyways, does anyone have any New Year's resolutions?
yeah.
Yeah. Tell us, Alex.
Well,
what
Alex
are your
is
New
back.
Year's
Alex is
resolutions?
back.
Alex hasn't
Okay.
been in a while.
Her New Year's
Yeah.
resolution is to be here every time we record.
Okay, my New Year's
Yeah.
resolution is tied to being back because I wasn't here because I got to go to rehab. So- awesome! No, I'm being fully open and honest about this. That this is something I've struggled with for a long time, and I think down the road we'll probably do a podcast about it.
I think so.
Yeah. but learning to cope with anxiety and depression in a healthy way so that it doesn't end up in coming out as like addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So
In
and
various forms.
Various forms, not just addiction to substances, but shopping or sex. It
Mhm.
comes out in various ways. So
Yeah.
So my New Year's resolution is to stay
Stay out of
clean,
rehab.
stay out of rehab,
That's a good one.
stay out of rehab.
This can be your new rehab.
That might be mine.
podcast.
That might be mine every year.
Stay out of
That's a
never
good
been
resolution for
rehab,
all
but
of
I
us.
You
think
need
it's
one.
probably-
You
I
need
wanna
one
try
that
not
you
to
can
go.
like check off the list every year and be like, well, at least I did
At
that
least
one.
I did that one.
That's a good one.
Stay
Success.
out of rehab.
I didn't hire a hooker this year. Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
What?
That was
Wait
a close
second.
one.
What?
Okay.
But
Save
A
it.
wagon I've
seriously.
never fallen off of, but I plan to stay on.
Yes.
Anyways, we're
Anyway.
Good to
really
have
glad
Alex
you're
back.
back.
It's good to be back.
Yes.
And side note, if anybody out there struggling with anything, please reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can touch you.
Yes.
Reach
Don't
out.
reach out and touch somebody per se, but just
Reach out and touch your neighbor
reach out.
Say,
and
neighbor,
say rehab.
neighbor, you need rehab.
So I'll say it together.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
that's good.
But
We'll
y-
definitely have to have a podcast.
Yeah, we
where we
do.
can talk
We
more
do.
about
We'll
this.
go more in depth. Yes.
we can interview you with all of our weird questions that we have.
Yeah.
I love listening. Like I think I was telling you the other day, I love listening to podcasts with recovery episodes. There's actually been a few that I've listened to. They're really good. They're just so encouraging because everybody struggles with stuff and they struggle more. It's more with like, not even like whatever substance, but not dealing with, XYZ.
Exactly. Other issues.
And so we all
Right.
try to find ways to cope with it.
Right.
Mhm.
So even if we've never been to rehab or whatever, we still need to have those healthy coping mechanisms.
Absolutely.
And everybody needs to practice those.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Pretty
Preach.
bad. Sorry. Absolutely.
Reach.
Is that the only one? Or do you have more?
I have a list.
Okay.
A
I
list
made a
of
list
resolutions?
of resolutions.
Nice.
No, there's really not that many. It's just basically staying clean, staying mentally and emotionally healthy,
Mhm.
and just literally doing things one day at a time,
That's a good one.
which is basically the AANA motto is one day at a time.
Mhm.
I like that. That's a good motto.
Yeah.
What's the motto?
What's a motto with you?
The motto you
There was one thing that you said to us a few months ago that I think someone had said to you in one of the meetings, that if you're not working on your recovery, you're working on your
On your
relapse.
relapse, yeah.
I love that. That like stuck with me.
It's absolutely true. If you are not vigilant about it, if you are not 100% on top of it, then you will relapse. And a lot of the times you relapse mentally before you relapse physically.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm.
knew that I had emotionally and mentally relapsed probably a few months before I actually physically started taking pills again. So you always have to be on top of it. And it's something you live with for the rest of your life. But it's going to sound weird. I'm kind of grateful for my addiction because it's made me appreciate life more than I had before
Mm-hmm.
and been able to see a perspective completely different than I had
Yeah.
previously.
Also
So-
makes
That's good.
you confront the demons that, would otherwise, because if you don't have, really obvious outward manifestations of your bad coping mechanisms, they stay there and you have less motivation to work on them. So this forced you and it forced me to deal with our own issues, and however we may have dismissed them in the past, where talking with counseling people and stuff like that are like, no, this is actually an issue that you need to work on it.
Mm.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess that I see how the trail leads.
Yeah.
It's really easy to get lost down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I like to try and stay focused and be intentional about, because like something that we've talked about before that I really struggle with is pride.
Mhm.
And I see that creeping back up. Like if I'm not like on it, then it can take over very easily, just like with anything else.
Mhm.
So there's no rehab for pride though, is there? That would be cool.
Yeah, it's called crisis.
Right.
Yes. Oh my God, I would be in crisis all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's pretty
man.
crazy.
Watch out.
It's amazing though how when like in the middle of one of the darkest times when things just seem really horrible, it doesn't take too long to, when you're on the other, just like on the other side, when you look back and you can actually be thankful for for going through the crap and like the most difficult thing that you've been through, to like actually say like, man, I'm so thankful because it did help me cope with things and it helped me deal with issues that I didn't realize that were there, and or roots that were dug that were really deep that I didn't see.
Well, she's
It
better
really
now
makes you
than she
thankful.
was before. And
Right. And this is something else that not many people know. And again, we'll address it later. But this was actually my second time going to treatment. And I went very, what's the word?
Reluctantly.
Reluctantly. Yes. Very reluctantly. But thanks to Brendan, Janelle, Pastor Pete, Martha, and David, and my mom, who honestly, you need a support system of people like the one I have that I'm blessed with to kind of gather
You
around
left
you
your
and say,
sister off that list.
oh, my sister and Ryan.
I almost just said.
And she listens to the podcast too.
I love you, Christina.
Even though you ran over her with your bike.
Oh, don't
Yikes.
listen to her lies. But yeah, obviously I still had issues that I needed to deal with that I didn't resolve the first time around in treatment. So I am grateful that I went back a second time because not many people have the opportunity that I had to go to treatment.
Yeah.
But this also even predates everything. Your issues were still unresolved from back when you were a teenager and you had an eating disorder, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah. So
that was all been-
that was another
that was
coping
right.
mechanism.
That's another coping mechanism.
Yep.
Eating disorder, substance abuse.
So even though it didn't manifest the same way, it was the same issues that were still
Right.
unresolved. And so that's where it's like, now that she is resolving those issues, she's better off than she was,
Oh, absolutely.
way a long time
I
ago.
feel like a different person. Honestly, I do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think you seem like a different person too.
Yeah.
Thanks,
personally.
girl.
I have known you
I
for a
don't
long
even know
time.
you anymore.
I know.
Which actually, that I have a question about that because I was thinking about it earlier this week. What were we talking about when we came up with that question about which version of yourself? Oh, we were laying in bed one night and Brendan said,
I don't want to know.
remember when we first
more
got
than that.
married and was it when we first got married and had
I was saying how
Our first
like
kid.
sometimes I don't know if you guys do this, but we've known each other for a long time. We've been married for it'll be 13 years this year. And like I think about me, the version of me when we first got married or even before we were married, and like who we were then. And I think
think
about
you
those
said,
people
I
and
don't
like
even
those are completely
recognize-
different people. I don't recognize those people at all anymore. And it's kind of freaky because we've changed so much. And I don't know. I think that's normal. I think everybody kind of feels that way.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the question came up like, what version of yourself do you relate to the least?
Are we leaving the resolutions then?
Well, it's kind of
Okay.
because it's what
Okay.
makes
Yeah,
us
we
weird.
didn't
We'll go
finish
back to the resolutions, I'm sure.
Yeah, I took up all the time on the resolution. So
With one.
With one. That's a good
with
one.
my
though.
one
That's a good one.
resolution.
So like
Mine
when you
isn't
think of
nearly as
when
good
you
as that
think
one.
of like the phases in your life that you've already been through, at what point would you say like, I don't know that person, I don't relate to them, I don't even know who they are? I said my
Sorry.
would have been when we first got married
Yeah.
and had our first kid. It was like in the same year.
That's the one you
That's the one I
relate
relate to the least. Like
And why
I
is
don't
that?
recognize. I don't know. Like I think it's because when we got married, I was listening to so many other people about like what we should do with our, not even just weddings, but like with marriage and having kids and like this is what you should do, this is where you should live, and even this is who you should marry. Like I just listened to too many people and I feel like I lost myself then. So then right after I had Ezra and I was going through really bad postpartum depression, I was just so lost for a few years there.
Well, we were also so young, so I think it's normal. You're still kind of discovering.
Well, yeah,
who
I mean,
you
that's
are
usually when
you're
people
20.
are like finding themselves 20,
Right.
21 years old. And we were like
getting
married and having a
at the
kid.
same time and having kids. So that's just like that's a lot.
You know.
And I just
Yeah.
we had
'cause-
Alex and I had a kid the same year,
Yeah.
almost the same week.
Yep.
Right.
I was
I always
22.
forget that.
Yeah.
We didn't know each
Wild.
other then, but
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Like 22. I look at some of the
Taylor Swift
like
getting in my
college
head
kids who are 22.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I was engaged and pregnant at the time.
Mhm.
And it's crazy to think.
And you thought you were so mature at the same time, didn't you?
I did. I felt like I
Mhm.
was so mature and
Right.
wise. And I look back and I'm like, wow, that's
Yeah.
just, it's crazy. Because I feel sometimes like the age you have your first kid is kind of the age you're stuck at for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure why,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but
that kind of.
you kind of stop.
Well, you can't focus on yourself at that point.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Attention goes from
didn't
you to
notice until
your
my
child.
sister had her first kid. Well, she only has one. When she had her kid, she didn't get married and have kid until she was 30. I think she was 30 or 31 when Cayenne was born. And her view of parenting was so different than mine was when I had Ezra. So it was very much like she had time to think, and she like had it planned out, and this is the kind of parent I want to be, and these are the type of parenting books I want to read, and like this is how I want to do things. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about that. Like I think I was just thinking like, ooh, baby. Like a child who sees a baby in school. Yeah.
Oh,
So I
have
think
to raise it.
what
We got pretty
Yeah,
lucky with our
yeah.
first one, though.
Well, I
He pretty
know.
much raised himself. so.
he's magical.
We just left
That
him in the
kid is
room
a-
alone, and he just took
No,
care of
he's-
himself.
He's an
great.
enchanted boy.
Enchanted.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
good
that
kid.
first kid. That first kid
Yeah.
is like, usually
Yeah.
lures you into wanting to have the second one because they're
Mhm.
so good.
Yeah.
Trickery.
Trickery.
Anyways, so yeah, that's my version. What was yours, Brendan? I can't remember what you said.
I said I don't really have one because I couldn't think of one that I completely didn't relate to. There's pieces like I feel like I've taken like at least a small piece from each version and kept at least a small piece with me, and I hope to think that it's the better pieces to where I've been become a better person, but I couldn't think of one that I completely just didn't relate to because like there's versions of me like in high school and stuff when I was traveling a lot and doing a lot of mission trips and stuff, and it was a lot of that type of thing, and that's a version of me. That's a piece that I still hold, like that's still part of me. It's still part of who I am. There's a part of me that was all about starting a family and wanting to have kids and be a father and a husband. Obviously, that's still a part of who I am, and a church part involved in church and music and worship. And so there's parts of my life where one of those things were like the main focus of my life in that moment. But now I feel like I have a piece of each one of those, and so it's hard. Like I don't know that I actually have one that I completely don't relate to. But yeah,
What about you?
it's a little different.
Well, honestly,
Any
it's,
descriptive audio. Janelle looks at Alex.
I know. Who is she talking to now? I think it's really the part of me that I've always been a very loving and accepting person, or so I thought. But there was a part of me, shut up. There was a part of me that was very closed-minded for a long time, and I kind of just went with what other people told me. You vote because you're this party because of this reason, and you believe these church things, and you don't research on your own. You're just doing what people tell you. So there's that part of me, and also the part of me that's fearful. Fearful Alex, who's afraid of offending everybody, who's so cautious that she won't even speak because she's afraid that what she's going to say is going to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
That I'm afraid that other people are going to think that I'm this terrible, hideous person, and I let their feelings and their opinions of me define me. And so
Or your perceived opinion. That
What
that
you
my
think
have.
they're gonna think,
perception,
yeah.
right? Exactly. So obviously, I still have, like Brendan said, I still have a little bit of that. But if I had to pick one part of me
Right.
that I least can relate to, it's that for sure. For sure.
That's good.
And I'd like to say the addiction part, but the addiction is still with me, and I have to realize that because once I forget,
Yeah.
if I say it's not with me,
Right.
then I become so comfortable, and then that's when you fall. So you
Yeah.
have to be conscious of that.
Yeah, I think I even thought about that because I think of my dark days
Mhm.
and think like I would
Air
love to
quotes.
not be able to relate to that person. However,
Yes.
I do.
Yep.
And it's not like a person that I fight in
Mhm.
myself. It's more of like I feel like I have to learn to love her because I need to love people like her that
Mhm.
aren't me, So if I don't love her, then I'm not loving all these other people that need it.
Right.
I think that's why it's important. Like we had a conversation about this before about how like your struggles or your sin, you don't just like when God will set you free from those so they don't like hold you captive anymore. But it is still a part of you, you know, like in a way.
Yeah.
I think like I never, we always like, I think in the church, you think like, I always remember, oh, it's cast as far as the east is from the west.
Yes.
And all that. That's like what people say. And
Yep.
I think obviously, yeah, you have your little sound.
Wow.
There you go. And that's from the Bible somewhere. I don't know. We'll have to look up the verse.
Your sins.
But
yeah.
I'm so they're forgiven.
They're on the ocean floor.
But like, I don't think God expects you to just like, it's not like, oh, just ignore that they're even there. They're just completely gone. And it's just, you're never going to struggle with it again. It's never going to be there. I think it's part of what we carry. It's part of our cross that we carry in order that we can help other people too.
Exactly.
So we can't ignore it. You know, you have to kind of embrace it as your cross.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's kind of a new thing that has been something for me this year too. But it kind of goes with that too.
The like age that I don't relate to of myself, like I was saying, like when I was 20, 21 and we were getting married and stuff like that, I feel like I just don't know that person. Like, not even somebody, like, obviously I don't want to like, I don't hate her. Yeah. No, I don't hate her. I don't hate that time in my life. I think I just don't, it's almost like a shadow. Like I don't even see it that much. I don't have very many memories.
I understand
nowadays.
that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be friends with her.
I can relate more to that. Like there's parts of me where I'm like, I don't think I would want to hang out with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Which is kind of weird because it's me. But yeah.
David?
I think my high school self was very much legalistic with the Bible and very literal translation of stuff. I don't remember if I mentioned it before with the environmental podcast that we did, that episode. But there was this Christian rock radio station that I loved in Texas. And then every once in a while they'd have these little spots called creation moments. And this dude with an English accent, so he sounded more intelligent, would tell you of this.
It's true.
Whatever research came out that would totally disprove evolution because of this one thing. And I totally bought into it back then. And I totally like would have like cheered for the guy. And then hearing it now, I cringe every time I hear those things. And not to say that, you know, there could be some truth to that. Sure, there could be some truth to that. There could be some truth to evolution. There could be some truth to creationism. It's probably a blend of all of it. But it's just like, well, this is definitive proof that evolution is not real. I'm like, well, not really. It's just the way it was presented and all that stuff is like I was sold out for, you know, the Republican Party and, you know, gays should not be married. A lot of stuff. And I had gay friends in high school that, you know, I had debates with them or at least friends that were sympathetic. And I was like, nope, I can't get married. And it's not right. Call it something else would be one of my arguments or stuff like that. And I've since become a lot more gracious, I think. And
are you still friends with them?
With those friends? On Facebook. I don't really talk to them a whole lot, but still friends with. They hang out with each other. I don't really see them much.
Because they don't like you. I'm just kidding.
Great job, David.
Well, this girl that I would defend her gay friend, and I remember having discussions with her, and she invited me to prom, but I turned her down. But that wasn't. It wasn't for any other reason other than I just didn't want to go to a dance, and
I can't picture that anyways.
He does not like to dance. I've tried.
Like, if I'm going to prom, I'm going with like this girl that I'm in love with, and I'm sorry, but we're just friends, and I don't like to dance that badly.
So if it was me, you would have gone.
I probably would have taken you.
Okay.
Aww.
You probably would have.
Do we need to have a re-prom for you guys?
A re-prom.
we can have it in our backyard.
That was the reception at the wedding. That was it.
All right.
That's as close as you're gonna get.
All right. He did
Maybe
dance.
your 50th anniversary or something.
Oh, we got. All right. Get ready. 50th anniversary.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about vow renewal. Like that seems like a vow is a vow.
Aw.
Why do we need to renew what was already made? Like a vow
I
isn't a
like
vow
the
a lifelong
idea.
vow? Like
Mhm.
I get it's a nice premise, but
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
we've talked
we have
about
an
this
opinion
before.
about that because as far as like having another wedding and like a vow renewal. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. Okay, so
You're
In-
using your hands too much.
I know. Instead of having like a ceremony together, we did rewrite vows, but it was because when we got married so young, we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. So I think second time around was more like, okay, here's
Let's
the
be more
deal.
serious.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
I know what I'm
Yeah.
getting myself into, and now this is what I can promise
Making
you.
the choice again, kind of.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to not recognizing the person we were then,
Mhm.
and it's almost like renewing the commitment to who you are today because you have
Mhm.
changed so much.
True.
Like for
That's
us, like
good.
we've changed a lot. So
Mhm.
it's like it's a renewal for who we are today. We're still choosing this. So
Right.
like,
Well, we successfully like destroyed our marriage years ago. So it was a nice like let's get married again for real this time, like
Yeah.
taking it seriously.
and we've taken our time too because it's been like a 2-year process of 3-year process of renewing our vows. 'Cause,
Which
like
and it was funny
I-
because he actually
yeah
he gave me vows last year
last year.
Aw.
and I wasn't in a good mood at the time. So it didn't go over that well. And that was probably
Aw.
disappointing. But then this year, actually, it was just a few weeks ago. It was for his birthday. I gave him my vows.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's been more like
beautiful.
then that's why I told her in the beginning. I was like, I want it to be thoughtful,
Right.
Mhm.
and I don't care. It doesn't have to be this elaborate thing. It doesn't have to be whatever. It just I want to be patient and take our time and think through it because that's what we didn't do before. You know,
But
we
that
were
seems
kids and we
that
just
seems
kind of
more additive than replacing.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it was,
Right.
yeah, so
that's
it's
what
not like
that's
a
what we talked about. We're
renewal.
like, I don't want to replace because
Or
I'm
like
still
re-
committed to
or
the
even
first
repeat.
vows.
Like
Mhm.
you don't want to repeat the same ones.
Right.
again because
It's
that's-
adding on. That's exactly right.
That's what I think of for vow renewal, like what you guys explained. Like
Mhm.
I never thought of it as like a replacement.
Well, I only have Hollywood examples, I guess, on
Yeah.
TV shows and stuff.
Guess what
No.
we're doing next
So-
podcast.
so
we're
yeah.
going to renew our vows.
It's not like we're
I just
renewing
don't
our
want to
vows.
spend
It's more
thousands
like
of dollars on a big ceremony and just be like, "Hey, we're renewing our vows."
We're extending our vows.
I was like, let it be known. Now I know what this is all about, and I'm still here.
I know what I've gotten myself
We're
into this time around.
restating.
I really know who
extending.
you are now.
Yeah.
And
We're
I'm sticking
still
with you. I'm
choosing
sticking
this.
with
You know what it is? It's a new understanding.
A new understanding.
The vows still exist, but it's a new
'Cause
understanding.
the truth is, who really
between
knows
one
what
another.
marriage is like until you've
Until
been
you've
in
been
it
married
for
for a
a
long
decade or so? I mean, really? So,
We're almost at a decade.
yeah.
Almost there.
So I think it's a good idea to have some sort of vow, whatever you call it, renewal.
Yeah, if
or
you need.
reinstate-
I mean, I don't feel like
Refresher.
it's like a mandatory.
It's not a mandatory
No,
thing,
it's
no.
not.
But I think it's good to acknowledge the fact that I mean, obviously, like you change a lot, and I think it's a healthy thing to kind of revisit it after a while. And obviously, if things happen to where you really feel like it's a necessity, then you do it. I think at some point in probably everybody's marriage, I would think there's probably some kind of point where that happens. I mean, I think that's just the way marriage is. I think
Mhm.
that's what makes marriage stronger and grow is
Right.
when you go through the crap like we were talking about before, just with your personal life. Like,
Yeah.
those difficult and dark times are what makes things stronger if you let it, if you
Mhm.
choose to.
That also begs the question, though, is why wait 10 years to make a new promise? Or like, it seems like you could do it more often and still be
Mm-hmm.
like an ongoing process rather than a major event.
Yeah. I just think the major events make it more valuable where you actually realize the value in it maybe and you realize
Every year I
how
have to make
need
you
it.
a new vow.
Well, like we didn't really realize or express things that we were feeling until
I have to go back.
Last-
I remember being proud of my vows. I have to go back and read them. I don't remember what they are now.
you sung me your vows.
That's right.
Oh,
Yes.
I made vows to Lily too.
You did.
that's adorable.
It was
awesome.
beautiful.
I made everybody cry.
I'm sure. I'm crying right now. I'm just kidding. My second vows were pretty kick-ass,
Yeah.
Mm.
I have to say. And
And she did it in a
wanted
restaurant.
it because I
Oh.
didn't want it to be like cliche.
Mhm.
And so I just sprung it on him when we were at like First Watch for breakfast. And it's this, okay, at breakfast, First Watch is packed all
Yeah.
the time.
Yes.
So, but I was like, you know what? That kind of fits because that's just kind of how life is.
Yeah.
Here's some greasy bacon and new vows.
Yeah.
Hey,
Mhm.
bacon is my favorite.
What did she
You can
say?
make a wedding
Did
ring
she,
out of
like,
bacon.
It just adds to
proclaim them to
happiness.
you, or did she just slip them to you on paper?
She read them. She had
I read
them
'em.
written.
I had 'em
and
written
She
and I
read them
read them.
out, and it,
Was it
but-
just you guys, or were the boys there?
No,
No,
it
it
was
was just
just
us.
us.
It was a date or whatever. But I mean, we're both bawling our eyes out in the middle of First Watch, so it's a little. Thanks.
Somebody,
But it was-
You're
that
welcome.
was-
somebody had to have captured that.
I hope so. Yeah, it's probably online. It's going viral. We just don't even know it. Look at this stupid couple.
What's wrong with the couple at table 12?
I think either one of them is dying or
think
maybe
one
they're
has
breaking them up.
Yeah. No, but the cool thing about it, my favorite part about it was I've had 4 wedding rings. So with the
All from
including the
Janelle.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's clarify.
Yeah, no, they're all I've just had
He's
replacement
demanding
ones.
with his wedding rings. They always have to be. And actually, the last one
No,
that
no.
before the one that he's wearing now, he lost in the backyard.
And you found it.
I didn't find it. One of
Oh,
the
you
kids
didn't?
found it,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
brought
they
it to me. And they're like, "Isn't this
miraculously found it.
Daddy's?" And
Wow.
so I
Weird.
saved it. I didn't.
So
he
she
didn't
had
know I
all the
it.
rings in a bag, and the vows went along with each ring and how it represents. It was really good. It was
Oh,
pretty-
that's beautiful.
It was pretty good.
She's very talented.
I'm going to have you write my new set of
I
vows.
think that's not the point.
I'll give
at
you a good
all.
rate. I won't charge you that much for it.
That's kind of missing
Thanks.
For
the
my-
whole point.
For my magical
the
poetry.
friends and family discount.
But you know what?
Take
That
the
kind
5
of
finger.
it, like what you said about like wouldn't it be better to make continual promises to one
Right.
another or whatever? That was actually one of the questions I was thinking of for tonight, was for like New Year's resolutions, like resolutions for a year versus like small goals.
Well,
We
if
kind of-
if I ever get a chance to talk about my resolutions, then I was going to
Tell us
Do
your
it.
resolutions,
Go.
David. I've been like
Sounds-
on the
you
edge
sound a
of my
little
This
hurt.
seat.
hog next to me over here was just like, oh, I'm going to take all.
Well,
the
she
time.
has really good
That's right.
resolutions.
That's right. Beat
Resolution.
my resolutions. Go ahead.
Shun,
No one's
single.
gonna beat that.
We need like
Did you go to rehab too?
he went through
went
rehab.
through rehab
It was a
twice.
little different.
It's probably more difficult for David than it was for me.
I didn't have 24/7 people extracting my deepest, darkest parts of my
No.
soul.
How
Oh
so
my
fun.
gosh.
Oh my
You
God.
Cry. I sobbed like a baby.
I
You
was
cry
I
like
could
you've
still go
never
to
cried
work
before.
and like think about other things. You didn't have that.
No, they force you into those deep, dark places of your soul.
So I can still pretend it's not there and just work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I was gonna say I don't really do New Year's resolutions as much,
Mhm.
only because if you think of it, like, because you usually have to plan these out, right? So you have to plan it out at least a week or two in advance. You're like, oh, you know what? January 1st, I'm gonna do this. What's stopping you from doing it now?
Mhm.
Because a lot of diets and stuff like that, you're like, okay, I'm gonna start January 1st. I'm gonna eat like crap until then,
Mhm.
and then you
Eat
get to
every
January
piece of
1st.
Piece of junk food in the house
And then
before
you
the
get
diet
to January
starts.
1st, and you're like, well, that was delicious. I don't want to stop this. So there's no time like the present, I think. And
Yeah,
it's kind of like a Band-Aid that you got to rip off and just start doing it. And plus, I feel like I get, I make promises to myself, or I come to I have revelations or whatever throughout the year. And I try to make improvements throughout the year. So I don't really wait until January 1st to do anything about it.
Mhm.
And I use it more of like reflection than projection, I guess.
Reflect on the previous year.
Right.
Mm.
And be like, okay, so that
And
was
then
fun.
Make
Let's
some changes.
let's do something different
Improve on that.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But
That's cool.
I don't really
I do that too, I think.
set myself up with these giant expectations.
You love goals.
I
though,
love
Brendan.
goals.
Oh my goodness.
My New Year's resolution is to not have any New Year's resolutions.
Oh, that's
So you
He's
failed.
done a
already
really good
failed.
job.
Yeah.
Because he's got
I do
Like-
have one.
we share calendar on our phones, so I get every time he updates something on the calendar, which is like 20 times a day.
No.
Everything
That
is
was that one
planned
time.
out.
I have to have a schedule. I do a lot better with a consistent schedule.
Me
So it's
too.
just That's my personality.
He says that I'm not laid back.
I'm owning that. Yeah, I thought I was laid back. I am laid back in some ways, but not. I'm realizing I'm not in a lot of ways too. So I'm just owning it because I'm happier, and I think things are just better when I have things planned out. But I also have learned. I have to learn, and I'm trying to learn how to be flexible still too, because I have a hard time when something's planned and then it changes.
Mhm.
I have a hard time with that. So having to be okay, to be okay with that
I
and
can
be
relate,
flexible.
yes.
Yeah. But no, but this year was weird. Are you done, David? Sorry, I just stepped in.
Well, so I don't really have any resolutions.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he said revelation. You were going to hit your button, weren't you?
No, I was just.
I wanted to make sure you were done before I started. Sorry. But yeah, so this year was weird for me because this was the first time I actually didn't have any kind of crazy, this year I'm going to do this and goals and resolutions and all this stuff.
I always loved those flick your bics and all those things that
Wow.
certain people would present.
I have no idea what that means. What
Those
did you just say?
phrases, those New Year's phrases that you would.
Oh yeah, the rhymes and
The
stuff.
rhymes.
I always love making up
2011,
those
closer
stupid.
to heaven. I don't know if that was
I didn't come up with one
Oh,
for
no,
this
please,
year.
please
I
don't.
need to come up with one so
Please
Pete can say it
stop.
at church.
28. Getting close to heaven's gate.
You're good at that.
18.
Wait, 2018. What did I say?
28.
20.
Getting lean in 2018.
I
there
need
you
more
go.
coffee. Yeah, get lean in 2018.
I just feel like,
Good.
okay, Hero doesn't start preschool until August of 2020. So I feel like I can't really have any goals until then. Like, my goal is to get to
Make it
08
to-
and
make
2020.
That's it.
No, but okay, so my thing, I think it was a big breakthrough for me actually to be okay starting the year without having any kind of crazy goals. So I just kind of like let myself be okay with that. It's funny though, because in the last week or so, I've started to, I think, more healthily think of realistic goals. So I do have a couple like goals for the year, maybe New Year's resolutions or whatever, but they're more realistic, and I'm only gonna stick with like one or two. Like I'm not gonna get crazy because I would always like I've got a list of all these things. It's like record a full length album this year, and it's like that's been on the list for 10
Starring
years.
the movie of my life.
So yeah,
It's
so
gonna
ridiculous.
happen.
So putting my priorities in place, and then also being realistic and saying, I'd rather just have like one that I can really stick to, and one that's just like a simple one and that I want to stick to, and it's kind of starting this week. Well, I've already started, but I'm gonna learn how to cook and cook more. So I'm
I'm excited.
picking a day of the week, a night of the week where I do dinner, because Janelle does all the cooking, and she pretty much always has because she's really good at it.
I
and
don't really like it.
yeah, so that's one of my New Year's resolutions, and it's kind of for her too. So
That's so
Though
nice.
last week when you said you were going to cook dinner, I ended up doing most of it.
you did. What was that? What was it?
That was when James came over to play.
You could
yeah.
you could do also a joint effort on different nights too. That usually, depending on
cook together.
right, cook
Yeah.
together.
Well,
That never works, 'cause-
my parents got us a grill for Christmas, so
Yeah.
that's easy. I mean,
Yeah.
and he's good at grilling.
delicious.
So just
I'm
grill.
better at just let
Yeah.
me do it. Let me do my thing, and I'm gonna do
Right,
it because
that's kind of hard too.
she's
Because I
way
said there, I'm like,
more,
do you know how to do that?
Yeah. She's more efficient.
That is, you were cutting that totally wrong.
Yeah. She's extremely efficient, and I'm really not. So
But it
it's
also
better
really
for her just
pisses
to
me off
not.
when people cut vegetables wrong. Because
Yeah.
I mean, there's
You want
a
me to cook
certain
dinner?
way to cut
Let
an
me do it
onion,
myself.
and when people do it weird, I'm like, why are you weird?
We can't be
Yeah.
friends anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Or spouses. I
Or
guess.
spouses.
Wow.
Though I don't
That's a
think
deal breaker.
you'd never cut an onion anyways. I'm kidding.
I don't like onions. No. No, but I mean, there's some things like late in the last week, like I've been wanting to have some goals, like just like lifestyle goals, like making sure we have a date night consistently and stuff like that. And I mean, we've always done that. That's always been in our mind, but life happens and you realize, wow, it's been like a month since we've had a date. So it's like being really strict about. That's where I think scheduling and planning actually is important, because when you get to the point where we are with 3 kids, they're all at different ages, completely different needs right now. And our life can get really hectic and crazy, and they're not even in like extracurricular stuff. Like that's just like just normal life. And by the end of the day, we just want to sit on the couch and end up falling asleep at like 9 o'clock because we're just exhausted.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yes.
Like Saturday when I fell asleep at 7:30, slept
Yes.
13 hours straight. I needed
Yeah.
it so bad. Oh, so bad.
Yeah, I just lay there and watch Parks and Rec all night.
Yeah.
That's
That's good.
all I feel like doing.
Sometimes that's just
Yeah.
what you need.
Way to
Exhausting.
float our business out there.
Hey, it's really, it's funny.
That's
I
my
didn't
personal
say
time.
I didn't say anything else that happens after that.
You didn't leave any time for after.
Parks and Recs and chill.
It is on Netflix, so it's still Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah, we didn't know what that meant
Yeah.
until recently.
Wow.
I had to text one of our young millennials in the group to like confirm.
Get with the time.
Because I
You're
said
old.
something like, oh, no, it was my sister and her husband. He said, what do you want to do tonight to my sister? And she said, I don't know, Netflix and chill. He's like, you know what that means, right? And she's like, it means watch TV and sit on the couch and stare at the TV. And he's like, yeah, but it kind of has some sexual connotations. And she's like, no, it doesn't. I was like, I don't think so. I think you're wrong. And so I had to text and find out. And I actually texted Ellie. And and her response was laughing. It was funny.
She is funny.
Anyhow, now we know.
Oh.
Good New Year's resolutions. Did you say one, babe?
I don't like that. I don't
There
really
we go.
She came up with a
You asked
question.
the question.
I know. No, I don't
Just
really
shut it
like.
down.
I don't like having to think about goals like that for myself, or I feel like I'm put on the spot with those kinds of questions.
Oh, she's too
So
good
I
for
would rather have a
resolutions.
conversation
Wow.
about goals without actually setting them and telling them, because
And accomplishing them.
because when I talk about my goals, I usually end up not doing them. It's when I keep them a secret and just bust them out myself without telling anybody.
Is that really a goal?
There's
then, though?
Schrodinger's goals. If you
It's
don't
not
open
just-
it, you don't fail.
Exactly.
I don't
That's
know,
why I
babe.
say I will set some goals
You might
in
need
August
to unpack
of
that a little with your counselor.
2020. I don't know. I haven't had any goals the past few years. Like, it's just kind of like survive toddlerhood
That's a goal. That's a
That is
great
But
a
goal.
you're not a
goal.
toddler.
with one every day.
Yeah. No,
Survive.
I think it's
No,
definitely
I did
not to have
one of my and it
goals.
wasn't a New Year's resolution. It was just like something. It was we were starting a new year, and I'm like, how do I not want to be like I was last year? Like, how can I be better? And one way that I could be better is being more nurturing to Kingston and Hero, particularly. Ezra, I'm pretty good with, but the other two are just like, I don't know, harder because they're younger. So that was my goal.
You don't relate with
be
them
more
as much, so
nurturing,
it's
try to be
difficult.
more patient, like
They-
think before I respond.
They have a tendency to annoy you more. Is that what it is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good.
Well, and it's not even that I'm annoyed.
We'll
It's
hang
more
on to
like
this for
a second grader telling you stories about his day kind of make you like, and you're already about to fall asleep. You're like, okay, just stay awake, keep your eyes open, nod your head. Like, you have no idea what he's talking about, but just
stay awake.
pretend like you're listening so that he knows you care.
It's a bigger challenge than most people realize.
Yeah, he's
It
so
is.
sweet. Like,
Yeah.
he really is such a sweet kid. It's just really hard to give him the attention that he needs when I have a 2-year-old. So
It is very challenging, but they're such good
2-year-olds
kids.
are no joke.
Nope, I don't miss that age.
Joke.
Not at all.
So you want to genetically engineer a 3-year-old
Mm-hmm.
to come straight out?
5-year-old.
Counting down the
Potty trained.
months.
Let's get past the potty training, then we can, yes.
It's a little easier after that. Yeah.
GMO 5-year-olds.
That's why we didn't adopt a puppy.
Oh God.
Yeah, having to train them.
Ugh, poop everywhere.
Yeah.
We still had poop everywhere, but
Yeah.
not as often.
No.
Mm. Yeah, we don't need a dog. We have a
Anyways.
2-year-old.
He got
we
into
have a
some
dog.
We have a
chocolate.
dog.
You do have a
yesterday.
dog.
We do have a dog, but I forget he's there. He's small. And
Yours is a cute little
Kinda like
nugget.
a
He's
cat.
like a cat.
Yeah.
That's
Ours
the
is
way
a
I like it.
beast.
He ate some chocolate yesterday.
Oh no, is he
Yeah.
alive?
He's alive. He pooped out Hershey Kiss wrappers.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sounds painful.
Those are like metal, aren't they?
Yeah. They're foil. But he's alive. Our first adventure with dog emergencies.
Oh,
There were a lot of cats in that office, so that was fun.
He hates cats. He hates ducks. And he's already almost killed a duck in our neighborhood
oh no.
with our new neighbors watching.
oh
Oh.
gosh.
I was gonna say with our new neighbors. What is that?
Like a sacrifice.
That's one way to welcome yourself into the
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Oh,
There we
you're
are.
the people whose dog killed the duck right in front of my child. You're welcome for that experience.
I'll come hose the blood off your grass.
Anyhow, was that?
Anyways.
Alex? Did you have more? Because you said you had a whole list of resolutions.
No,
No.
that's it. And unpack my house. But I'm with you guys on the small goals opposed to long-term goals. Like I said, one day at a time works so much better
I
because
like that.
anybody can do anything for 24 hours.
That is so good.
Yes.
So good.
Good or bad?
Okay, good. Good. Let me clarify. Good.
Because you could do bad stuff.
I
for
don't
24
know
hours,
if I
too.
could tolerate waterboarding for 24 hours. I'm pretty strong, but
Goodness. That
no.
went
Good
south.
things.
I do want to be like more fit and healthy. I mean, that's like everybody's.
Kind of like obvious,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, that's everybody's goal.
Oh yeah, that
Kind
was one of my
obvious.
goals.
Well, it keeps sticking. Sorry. I keep making noises and
Janelle
it
messes
irritates
with the
Brendan.
Your
microphone.
microphone.
Stop playing with your thing.
Don't play with the microphone.
Did you read any good books?
I'm reading a book by Brene Brown, The Gifts of Imperfection.
Wait. Ask me.
That is
Ask
a
I
me.
great
recommended that.
book.
Yes.
Ask
yes,
me.
it's
I read
a
that book.
great book.
I was thinking about reading that again.
You
David
should.
doesn't read books.
David
so I'm not
doesn't
even
read.
gonna
His
ask.
answer's gonna be no. I don't read.
That's a
I
good
read-
impersonation.
I know.
I read on the computer.
Like on a Kindle.
Anything on a screen is so much easier.
I
for
just
me
did
to
my
read.
first audiobook. I've never really done an
Oh.
audiobook before, and I just finished it today. And I'm proud of myself because I've already read a book this year. Done January.
What I don't
I
understand
read
is
one book,
he
1.5 books.
Listened to a
You
book.
listen
he
to it.
listened
Hey,
to the
still.
audiobook and then bought the hard copy.
Because it was that good.
Okay, what book was it? No, I have to know.
Well, Sky Jatani. So
Dang.
we always talk about
Which
our
one?
favorite, the latest one, Immeasurable.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. It has good discussion questions in it. That's why I bought it, because it would be a good thing to do as a group of people. So I think that's why I bought it. Thank you.
You know why
very
I
much.
like
And I
Sky?
wanted to support Mr. Sky Jatani because I believe in his
I like him.
ministry.
I like him. He has a very nice voice, and I like the way that he like delivers.
He's very good at communicating
He's
a point.
just-
Mhm.
And he's just seems very
He
chill.
says what I'm
Want to hang
thinking.
out with him.
I
Yeah.
know. I feel like he's in my head, which is freaky.
Mhm. Yeah, he's helped really reshape a lot of the views that I had
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah.
So,
So he'll say something and be like, that's exactly what I was thinking, but I did not know how to put it into words.
Yep.
Thank you, God. Yes.
He's very good at
An
articulating that. I like.
Well, he's got the knowledge to like back it up, and the
True.
like it's something that you feel, and you don't really have the
Right.
proof for it or the research.
He's
to
done
go
the hard
behind it.
work.
and he does the hard work and puts it all together.
I
for you.
appreciate that very much. That's why I pay you $2 a month for a Devo.
$2 whole
I
dollars.
really should pay you more.
Big spender.
It's really more valuable than that.
It's the only. It's the
That's
only.
all you're worth, Sky.
That's the only Devo I've ever paid for. So you know.
Yeah, for like 2 years straight.
Oh, I've been going for like
Is it 3? I don't know,
it's
maybe
probably
longer.
been longer.
I'm going to say, what episode is this that we're on here?
This is our.
This is 8.2, I guess.
It's 8.
Yeah.
We actually, the last one we recorded did not get posted. So it'll have to be like,
Janelle was
maybe
sick.
we'll archive it. And Matt and David apparently.
It was
we
it'll be a bonus
we weren't
episode.
happy with it. Brendan said it was fine, but I couldn't even stand to
I don't
listen to
even
it because I
remember
kept
right now.
coughing. I had like a really bad cough.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah. So, anyways, are we
Oh, look at us.
Yeah.
closing
We
out?
got to wrap it up. That was,
Sorry, folks.
Yeah,
that was
that
a
was a-
blast.
That was fun. That was
fun.
our
Really
that was
nice
our intro
catching
to
up.
2018.
Yeah.
I'm ready. You guys ready for this year?
The next
Woo!
challenge is putting a title on this.
Well, the next the next episode,
a
I
challenge.
think we haven't talked about topics, but I personally would love if we talk about some sex. And I think some listeners that we have would
Oh,
like that because they've been
no.
asking.
Ow, chicka, wow, wow.
It'll be fun.
Okay, we will give a warning.
Maybe, yeah, we'll rate that. We'll rate that
Yeah.
one
Are
like I
people gonna
rated.
ask
We need
questions?
video for that one.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
Because,
Ask your
gestures.
sex question.
We talk with our hands,
God.
so it'll be great.
You can see all the blushing.
All right, we'll see you next
going
time,
downhill very
everyone.
fast.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. The Undoing podcast is recorded at Root Studios and engineered by Brian Boyd. For more information, visit facebook.com/undoingpod.